What's up, guys? Chlorine King here, and thanks for tuning in for another one. If you live here in Florida, especially in Pinellas County, you've probably seen water restrictions pop up recently. And if you own a pool, you might be wondering, am I about to get arrested for adding water to my own pool? Don't worry, we're not there yet, guys. But you're also not going to see me out there posting bail for pool owners. But there are definitely some things that you need to learn and understand so you don't accidentally turn your pool into a very expensive problem. So today, we're breaking down how water restrictions affect your pool, what you can and can't do, and how to protect your equipment without getting yourself in trouble. Please keep in mind these are just general guidelines as each municipality lays out their restrictions differently. So please check with the municipality first if you have any questions. I promise you it would totally be worth it. With that said, first off, what are water restrictions? Water restrictions are put in place by a local city or county to reduce overall water usage, usually during drought conditions, high demand seasons, or when the water system's under stress. That means limits on things like watering your lawn, washing your car, pressure washing, and yes, even filling your pool. Basically, your grass is struggling, your car's dusty, and now your pool's sitting there like, hey, I'm part of this house too, don't forget about me. Now here's something a lot of homeowners don't realize. Your pool loses water every single day, and not just a little. Evaporation alone in Florida can take about 1/4 of an inch, sometimes more, per week, and that's without even anyone touching your pool. Then you add in splash out, kids doing cannonballs, adults pretending they're still kids doing cannonballs, and suddenly your pool's dropping faster than your motivation on Monday morning. There's always that one person who thinks the bigger the splash, the better the party. Meanwhile, your pool's like, sir, I'm literally disappearing right now. So now the question becomes, how do you maintain your pool properly without violating water restrictions? Here's the reality. Your pool still needs water no matter what. This is not optional. If your water level drops too low, you risk pulling an air into your system, which leads to your pump running dry. That causes things like overheating, seal damage, and in worst cases, complete pump failure. And let me tell you, replacing a pool pump is not a fun surprise nowadays. And that's also not a quick Amazon order and you're back in business either. That's more like, well, there goes my weekend plans and maybe a couple dinners out too. And it doesn't stop there. Because once your water drops below the proper water level, your skimmer stops working correctly. You lose circulation. And once circulation's gone, now you're dealing with algae, chemical imbalance, and cloudy or green water. And before you know it, your pool looks like something you'd expect to see in a wildlife documentary, and nobody wants to explain to their guest, yeah, you know what, it used to be blue. Now we're just trying something different and a new color. What do you think of the green? So even during water restrictions, maintaining proper water levels is critical to protecting your system. Think of it like your car. You wouldn't stop putting gas in it just because gas prices are high. Unless you enjoy pushing it down the street, which in Florida heat's basically a full-blown workout that you didn't sign up for. So what can you do to actually stay within the rules? First, check with your local guidelines. Every municipality is a little different, as I mentioned before, but most allow maintenance level refilling, meaning you can top off your pool to keep it operating safely. What's usually not allowed is filling a brand new pool or draining and refilling large amounts of water without approval. So if you woke up this week thinking, you know what, let's redo this pool this week, might not be the best timing for that. Second, reduce unnecessary water loss, because this is one of the biggest things you can control. Fix leaks immediately, and I mean immediately, because a small leak can turn into a big water bill and a bigger headache very quickly. It's not going to magically fix itself either. In fact, leaks tend to only get worse over time. Also, avoid over backwashing your filter. A lot of homeowners backwash way more than needed, and that's basically like turning on your hose and just saying, yeah, let's send money straight down the drain today. Another big one is keeping your chemistry balanced, because when your chemistry gets out of control, now you're essentially forced into a partial drain and refills, and that's exactly what you want to avoid during water restrictions. Balanced water means less water waste and fewer problems, which is always a win for you. And here's an underrated tip. Use a pool cover if you can. I know they're not the most exciting or elegant thing in the world, but they can drastically reduce evaporation, especially here in Florida where the sun feels like it's personally targeting your pool. The sun wakes up every day and it's like, how can I evaporate that pool as fast as possible? Just a small addition to pool covers though. If you have a weekly service company, please make sure it's removed prior to their arrival for weekly service so your pool can be fully serviced. Most companies do not like removing or replacing the covers during service for liability reasons, like tearing the cover for instance. Third, be smart about timing. If topping off is allowed, do it during approved hours, usually early morning or evening. If you're doing it in the middle of the day, you're basically pouring water in as fast as the sun is actively stealing it out, and that's just a battle you're never ever going to win. Now let's talk about the biggest mistake I see. Homeowners panic about restrictions and they just stop adding water completely, like zero. They think they're doing the right thing, but what actually happens is the water drops below the skimmer at some point, and the water starts pulling in, or the pump starts pulling in air in the system, it loses prime, and now we've got a major issue on our hands. I've seen pumps burn up, seals get destroyed, and entire systems go down, all because someone was trying to be careful. There's a difference between conserving water and neglecting your pool. One saves you money, the other sends you a large repair bill that you definitely didn't plan for. Let me give you a few pro tips. If you're not swimming at all and your pool's losing more than about 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch per week, you very well may have a leak on your hands. And no, it's not always just the Florida heat, even though that's what we all want to blame it on. That's usually what we hear right before we find the leak hiding somewhere. Another thing, keep your chemicals balanced consistently so you're not forced into draining water and refilling your pool unnecessarily. Consider upgrading your equipment as well. If your area deals with restrictions quite regularly, for example, cartridge filters use significantly less water than traditional SAN or DE filters because you don't have to backwash the cartridge filter. So if you're thinking long term, that might be something to consider as well. And here's a big one. If you're unsure about anything, just ask. Reach out to a pool professional, ask questions, get guidance, because I promise you it's way cheaper to ask a question than to replace a pump, a motor, or an entire system. Way cheaper, like not even close. At the end of the day, water restrictions don't mean you ignore your pool. They just mean you manage it smarter and more effectively. You conserve where you can, you stay within the rules, and you protect your equipment so you don't end up with bigger problems later. If you're here in Pinellas County, places like Seminole, Largo, Clearwater, and need help keeping your pool dialed in the right way, feel free to reach out to us. We're always happy to help. And as always, every pool is different, every setup is different, so if you're unsure, consult with a licensed pool professional, please. I always appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and share this video to help other homeowners deal with water restrictions in their area, even if they're not even close to you. Try to keep the cannonballs slightly under control, or at least warn the pool first, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everyone.